me and myself, we are going to present. We think that really is really exciting. By the way, Alberto Lopez from Digital Globe, it's a US company that we will present later. It's just a coincidence that both are Spanish. He's based in US. And so I'm very interested about the panel discussion that Monsieur Metricooh has presented, because it's really, really aligned with what we want to say. We want to talk about big data and, of course, big sales. We are all interested in big sales. So, and they said it, they already said it. We are obsessed. Advertisers are obsessed with ROI. It's a cool word that we have to use everywhere if we want to sell our product, if we want to get by. But do you know what ROI means? Do you have an idea? Really? No? It's a real out-of-home improvement. Yes. It's if we want to sell more, we have to improve. But where? Are we going to be bigger, more digital, more light? What? There are many areas that we can improve. We are already very good. But really, really, we are so good that we only need to show to our clients, to show the advertisers that we are already so good. So this is done before. Other media use metrics. They use standard metrics to show off, to show how good they are. They use that metrics to plan, to buy, to sell. So we, as an out-of-home industry, we have a limitation. We have a threshold that we have to cover. You see, the TV budget is huge. The advertising spending in TV is very big, and the research, the audience measurement for research, is just a portion of that, 2%. But that's a lot of money. That's why they can make a very cool audience measurement system. Also newspaper, but what happens with out-of-home? Unless you are US or UK, and you are able to spend millions and 20 millions of pounds, our spending is about, what, a percentage of that 7% of the advertising? So there is a threshold that many countries even cannot afford to start up an audience measurement. But also there are other things in many countries just to start up. It's because the audience measurement is very complex. And also it's very expensive. We need people carrying GPS around the world. That's very, very expensive. It's a high cost. And it's slow. How do we update that fieldwork in different cities, in different areas? And also, as you may be aware, there are a lot of political things behind the scene. Buyers, sellers, competitors, trying to make an agreement. And so that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it really makes things very exclusive and slow. So we have a barrier, and we have a wall that we have to break. How we can break that wall? Really, we have to shift. We have to change our paradigm. We have to break our mind and think outside the box. Well, this is not new. How we can do that? Well, through innovation. It's also the cool word that we have to use everywhere. Innovation. Yeah, if we want to change our mind, our mindset, if we want to produce those changes, we have to completely think outside the box. I love this example. Let me explain you one thing in 1912. You need, at homes, they need coal to keep the meat, to keep the beer. Also, the people buy ice bars, and the companies with cars, they move and they sell ice bars to the home through cars, with horses. It was a very centralized system. It was slow, expensive system, by the way, and also gross and not very hygienic. I mean, people was carrying your ice bar from one place to another. But technology came and really make a solution for the industry, a solution for your cold beer at home. The compressor, the electricity, the freon, whatever, brought us a fridge in our house, so we can have a cold Carlsberg in our home. So it's individual, it's hygienic, it's everyday, it's fast, and thanks to an industrial process, it's even affordable. Every house has its own freezer. Amazing, isn't it? So there's a path to innovation. There's a way that we can solve issues as we are facing right now in our industry. In fact, this path to innovation has been done before. The people is recycling and reusing military technology for their own purpose. For example, this has been done before for the GPS. It was a very expensive, only military thing. Now, everybody carries a GPS in the phone, in the watch, in the car, everywhere. It's ubiquitous. Or the radar thing brought us the microwave oven to our houses. Or even internet. It's a military development that we are taking advantage of that. So, let's be smart. Out of home should use and will use that kind of innovation path. Use technology that is already there, and we try to use it and take advantage of that. For example, satellites. Images taken from satellites. But not only the images, but the capacity to analyze, process, and compute such a complex amount of data and images. For example, the GPS, that's from digital, or for example, all data from the GPS navigators. But not only the on-the-shelf, in-dash, but also from the smartphones, from the all devices, from cells, all those probes that are moving constantly through the city that we should take advantage of that. But this is not possible if we don't have computing power. The data was there, but right now we have a huge and immense possibilities to process such a kind of information. That's called cloud computing, and it's called big data. So out of home right now can take the advantage of the infrastructure about $10 million. That's more than the spending that on TV research. Yeah, that's going to make things much more cooler than the TV research. Because we are using $10,000 million. We are taking advantage of those for our own purpose. Because they are generating data constantly, each day, each second, and we will use them. So, from that big data, we are going to extract, we are going to process, we're going to generate out-of-home metrics. But when we talk about big data, how big is our data? How big is our big data? For that, Alberto is going to explain you a little bit on how big is our current data. Alberto, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are not coming from this industry, but at DigitalGlobe, we have the mission of being an indispensable source of information for many markets. And we found that the out-of-home advertising, it was one of the best points to start with, because we are constantly monitoring what is out there every day. If I tell you that we capture every day 2.5 million square kilometers per day, or we are collecting 7,500 billion pixels per day, it doesn't mean anything to you. But if I tell you that that means 5 times France every day, at very high resolution, that a small fraction of it is what you see today in Google, Microsoft, Nokia, Apple, or the Department of State in the United States of America, or the NATO countries. All is that the imagery we are capturing every day and processing and putting in our customers' hands within 2 hours. This is what we're talking about. And it's not just the pixel. This is what we captured in the last 24 hours, or a week, or last month, or 6 months. Every quarter, we are fully capturing every single inch in the world. And in just an example, Moscow was captured last year 187 times in different days last year. So with all that information and all the cloud computing that we have at our premises, we're able to take the pulse of what's going on out there and see how people is required to have water, food, different aid, security. So we took all what we were supporting this resources to cover and to save lives and to protect, to find out what's going on with the people. Before, I think it was the call was talking about that we're focusing on the cities. We're monitoring every city constantly. So all cities, we've got more than 1 million inhabitants. We are capturing every week. So we know what's going there. So we know how population is dense, how dense is it. Here you got an example of the analysis we do. Within 15 minutes, you can have a population aggregate on its 50-meter cells with numbers. Obviously, this is cool to have it in cities, but we are doing that also in places in Africa that never been charted. So in the panel, we're talking about the out-of-home advertising that is required to still keep thinking on other countries that we're not being able to provide services, right? We are measuring today how much water and food is required in all the refugees camps in the world. This information is out there, and Digital Globe is there to help you out in the different industries to take advantage of that. It's not restricted to the US government or, the specific, organizations. It's there to do a better world or see a better world as our vision is gone. If we put together all this information that we automatically extract from what we capture, we put together with all the information we got for this GPS, smartphones, and different devices that they're enabling the GPS. And as you're familiar with, TomTom is the biggest navigation company in the world, where they already have a data similar to ours, but monitoring what these devices and applications are moving around the world with today 9 trillion accumulated dots, which is growing every day at a level of 6 billion points. And we have this power computing, even extracting point of interest of 45 million on their side, but we're doing similar work in all those countries that nobody is paying attention to. We have a complete set that keep being used to extract really powerful research information that can be at your disposal. And this is where we believe is big data. Is it big enough? I give the word to Daniel that can help you much more.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it amazing? When we talk about big data, this big data is more big than Facebook. It's more than 100 petabytes. It's huge. So when we talk about big, this is big. So as Metricooh said, big data is the new kind of research. Not only in media, everywhere. And if we go to the SMR conference, everybody's talking about big data, if they are using properly. In fact, there are 5 V's for big data. It's volume, it's variety, well, it's not different, it's a strong word, variety. Okay, you get the picture. Veracity, and of course, value. So, big data is a new way to do the research, because the information is from everywhere in the world and can be used for everybody. Okay, how we do that? Thanks to Digital Globe, thanks to the satellites, we got the reality. Look, this is downtown Madrid, and we, with an automatic analysis software, we can recognize where is each car. If it's moved, if it's parked, what is the position, the orientation, if it's a truck, if it's a bus, it's a motorcycle, whatever, we got it. But it's not only this picture. You have to realize that the satellite takes a picture of the whole city. So, thanks to this automatic analysis, image recognition, we are able to count, for example, the 20th of April at 11:25. How many cars were downtown in Madrid? That's a reality. Even the city council, they don't know that. That this information is quite new. Nobody knows how many cars are moving in Madrid or in Vienna right now. We can do it now, thanks to this reality check thanks to these pictures. Then we have TomTom data. There are more than 80 million props moving around in the world that are sending information to TomTom headquarters. They provide the mapping, the flow, the patterns, the time. So this is a picture for example, for South Africa. We can move and drill down to know exactly how many cars, at what hour, what is the density, if that ring road has 3 times more flow than the small one, if it's early in the morning or if it's weekend. So we have different patterns, but again, if there is a roadblock, because the information is instant. So we can track last week, last 3 months, last year, this year versus the last year, all this kind of stuff. And then from CUENDE, we need to make some profiling and some behavior. And let me tell you something about research and media measurement. We are getting very bored about the standard demographics. They are no longer as useful as they were. Of course, they are useful, it's fun, it's nice to have them, but everything is changing. So we are not talking about gender, age, social class, no. What we need is target by behavior. Because the same person with different role, as a businessman in the morning, as a dad in the afternoon, or going to shopping, or he takes different decisions. So the behavior in out of home is quite easy. Are the places, the locations, the areas, the spots. So we can track when they are going to shop and profile that individual based on their shopping behavior, or when they go to the university, or if they are going to the stadium and it's a football fan, because the last 3 months he went 3 times to the football soccer. Things like that. So also, we have that kind of profiling through behavior, and of course we have the visibility analysis. So for each billboard, based on size and orientation, we are able to trace the visibility zone, to count the gross traffic, and to see if there are blocked. For example, some buildings are blocked so people is not able to see. And later we can match the orientation and the movement of each person to see if they are heading and they are in front of that billboard or that urban furniture, and finally count real impacts. So we will be able to calculate real opportunities to see. And thanks to a big cloud computing, as you can imagine, we can provide metrics. But the standard metrics, the out-of-home audience measurement, I mean, GRPs, OTS, reach, what the advertisers are used to work. So we don't bring anything new. We have used technology just to process and to create more value, and thanks to that, to create what you need normally, what the advertisers are expecting from press, TV, and radio. We will provide it exactly the same for out of home. But that change of paradigm in the technology really brings us some good advantages, such as cost. We don't have to pay those $10,000 million. They're already paid. So our cost is just to take use of that infrastructure, so it's very, very, very low. And also there is a new thing. The current research that are done are very well done. US, UK, Spain, but they are very local, they are handcraft, they are well made and very local, and to solve the issues locally. Perfect. But now what we propose is to move from that handcrafted studies, and they are good, but to a more industrial way to think. We have to evolve. So from this old cars, we move to this, complement with this industrial process that really provides this affordable and a very reliable way to understand the audience measurement. And of course, fresh, because as Alberto told you, and you can imagine, the information is constantly updated daily. So, with this change of paradigm, suddenly, we really have the same metrics in Mexico, in US, in Canada, but also in Spain, in Portugal, or also in Asia, wherever we work. We have the same methodology, the same technology, and the same outputs across any billboard, any kiosk, any bus shelter from across the world. So we have finally global metrics to provide. So what? What is your benefit as a media owner, for example? Well, right now, we have the opportunity to really show up how good we are. It doesn't matter if you are big or you are small. If you have 3 billboards in Lisbon, you now can show that 3 billboards are as reliable and as good as other 3 billboards in Madrid or maybe in Dublin or whatever. So, going back to the start, we, as the panel said, ROI is the new black for advertisers. They need metrics to fill their models. They need to plan, they need to buy based on some criteria, some data, some figures that they are normally getting from other media. We have to provide them. So this is our improvement. We have to provide them a global metric to allow them to plan. So going back, thanks to big data, we are going to get really out-of-home metrics, the standard audience measurement metrics. And thanks to that, we are going to, as a media owner, be able to sell, to explain, because we are very good. In fact, you just see it. Out-of-home is very good. We only have to show up. We only have to be measured to show our clients, our advertisers, that out-of-home works. Thank you. That's a really pleasure to be here.